way too
All
fast,
fart.
but it doesn't ever hurt to say hello a bunch of times.
Take two.
That's right. Hello, welcome to VO Journey Academy Live. My name is VO Daddio.
And I'm your mom,
That's
Gabby.
right. That's right. You gotta say I'm your mom. Damn it.
Damn it. Listen to your mother.
Listen to your mother. And look at you don't have a mom, so I have dad fuel. You need like a mom
I
fuel
do. I
call.
do. I have death before decaf today, which is fine. It's totally acceptable any day of the week.
I love it. I love it. Well, thank you guys for if you have if you're still here with us. It's so good to see you all. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe channel button and hit that bell notification so that when we do go live or share a video,
Yeah.
you know about it.
Mm-hmm.
We also have a live chat. So chat, tell us where you are, tell where
Tell
you're
us what's up.
from, what you're doing. And if you have any questions, I love it. I don't know who this bird, but it says I have an early question.
DJ Rick? Yeah.
That's right. If you've got questions, we take them, we answer them.
Yeah. Throw it
So
out
put them
there.
down there. So, anyways, Gabby, what are we talking about today?
So we like to do themed weeks. I feel like it's a good way to kind of,
Yeah.
explore a topic fully. And so we're this week we're going to talk about mic techniques
Mm-hmm.
and some of the problems that I think plague everyone who's in our industry. If that wasn't already a hint, the plaguing
Perfect,
problems.
perfect topic.
So yeah, plosives because
Plosives.
everybody deals with
Ah!
it. Now, I don't know about you, Anthony, but I have become the plosive police, right?
Oh
I
no.
can't listen to anything.
Mm,
If I hear DJ, it can be sportscasters, it can be live announcers, it can be news anchors. I'm like, stop
mm,
popping your
mm.
peas. I can't
Yes.
stand it.
Oh, I know. I
Because
know.
once you hear it, I think once you become acclimated to plosives, you can't unhear them.
No,
You will
it's so
always notice
annoying.
them. It is so annoying. Yeah.
It is so annoying.
So what is it? Let's start off with that, I guess. What's the scientific or the definition here? Do you want to take that?
Absolutely. So, inside your microphone, okay, how a microphone works, and actually both dynamic and condenser microphones still work similarly. They're a little different, but basically there is a little diaphragm in here, a little disc, all right? And when we speak, okay, that disc vibrates. All right, and depending on whether it's a dynamic or condenser microphone, the signal is turned into an analog signal or whatever, and sent and turned into a digital signal, yada yada. When we explode air from our mouth, okay, when it's an explosion of air, a very fast amount of air, a large amount of air, it hits that diaphragm super hard, okay, and you get this popping sound.
Mm-hmm.
All
The
right, and that's what we call a plosive
mm-hmm.
when we do that. Yeah, go ahead.
And it happens with various consonants. People don't
Hmm.
always realize that. P's are the most obvious, but it
Hmm.
happens with P's, it happens with B's. I've seen people do it with T's. I mean, like
Absolutely, and you
any
can even do it as your, like you can do it with a with an H, things like that. I've
mm-hmm.
seen that. So as time went on, someone had the brilliant idea to say, okay, well, we need to stop this explosion of air hitting the diaphragm, right, and the microphone. So why don't we create a little barrier, okay, in the form of a netting? So we know that as a pop filter.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and those are the little, they're usually some netting. Go
Well,
ahead. What
what's
were we saying?
funny is like, okay, looking at your microphone, right? That grate that
Yes.
sort of surrounds it,
Hmm.
technically, that's a pop filter. It's a
Absolutely.
diffuser, right?
Absolutely. And the foam that you
Mm-hmm.
have around yours,
Yep.
often those are called windscreens as well, but they also act
Yes.
as a diffuser.
Yes. Some people call them spit screens. I'm like, stop it with that. Nobody can, that's not what they're for. Like, it's such a weird concept.
Oh yeah.
So there are a plethora of pop filters on the market. There are the nylon discs, which you can actually make yourself with a pair of pantyhose. They're really not complicated. That's
Yes, you can.
what they
I
are.
did that.
Yeah.
I did
Yeah.
that with a coat hanger.
Yeah.
I took a metal coat
Yeah.
hanger and my wife gave me some old
Yeah.
pantyhose. That was my first pop filter.
It's not hard to do. Not
No.
at all. You can any circular disc or anything that you
Hmm.
have laying around your house, you can literally just put a pair of pantyhose around it and use that and put like a little gooseneck thing on it to move it around. Pop filters on average, though, they're not expensive. There's singles, there's doubles in the nylon, which I'm not a huge fan of
Yes.
because that gets you further away from your microphone. And then there are the
Yes.
metal
They
pop
have metal ones.
filters.
Yep.
Yeah. Now, the metal ones, I will say, they're exceptional. They're also very expensive, okay? But they work really well. But years ago, I had a friend who works at Neumann Sennheiser who said that they don't recommend them. And the main reason why is because they're like, look, that metal is just another layer between you and the mic, and it can significantly change your sound quality. So, you know, maybe try to avoid the metal ones and the expense. But if you're really, really struggling with plosives, then that can help.
Absolutely. I think that also another thing is, so there's a couple things. So now you know what plosives are, right? And we know the main device that
Mm,
is typically used to help with plosives. Although
mhm,
many of you, if you have plosive problems, you know that you might have felt like throwing your pop filter out the window because they don't always seem to work the way you'd like them to. There's a couple things that we need to do to fix them first from our perspective.
mm,
All right. One thing that you can do that I find very, very helpful is depending on where you set up your equipment. Typically, most of us have a screen right in front of us.
mhm,
Okay. And when that plosive, when that explosion of air comes out, it goes forward. So if you notice here, even Gabby's mic is down to the side. It's on an
mhm,
angle.
mhm.
So as we speak, right, our the sound waves from our mouth they're going out like this. The microphone picks up. Now this is very important. We put our microphone at an angle, like either a 45-degree angle or whatever. You must make sure that the polar pattern of your microphone and the diaphragm where the pickup pattern is it's facing your mouth. I've
Mhm.
seen people have mics like this, mics like
I've
that. they,
seen
they got
people
it
have them upside down,
upside
backwards.
backwards.
Yes.
The backwards one is right.
Mhm.
And but basically the idea here is that we are keeping it still picking up our voice very nicely, but it's not directly in front of where that explosion of air is coming from. So it's a way to reduce plosives
Mhm.
without having to add extra,
Oh,
equipment,
yeah.
right? A pop filter.
We call it speaking off axis.
Hmm.
Yeah. And so the mic is always tilted, and you can even be slightly tilted, which can, help the situation.
Absolutely.
Um, I have another one. I have another one.
Yes.
So this is what I was taught when dinosaurs still roamed the earth. Yeah, a long time ago.
It's,
Take
yes.
your hand, and this is going to sound funny because I'm blocking my mic when I do this, obviously, so it's going to get muffled, but put your hand in front of your mouth
Mm,
and say words that are the problem children, right? So I say bust out the dictionary, go to the P's, right? And
hmm.
poor, proper, purpose, perfect. And every time you say a word, the air is going to hit your palm. You're going to feel the rush of air. The idea is to reformulate how you say it so you don't get the big rush of air. So instead of pour, we go pour, right? Purpose, proper. You shouldn't feel any air smacking into your palm, and that's how you know you're avoiding plosives. Yeah.
I love it.
Yep.
I love it. That's a really nice and fast and tangible way
Yeah.
to feel
Hmm.
and see like what a plosive is and how it feels.
Yeah, and that's why I
Yeah.
love that technique because so often what we do, right, that tangibility, that's what's critical. It's all weird virtual,
Right.
right, theoretical physicsy kind of stuff. So this makes it a little more, yeah,
Oh yeah, it's
hands
more
on for
real.
our tactile friends.
Oh, absolutely.
The other
Um,
thing that
yeah,
you
go ahead.
can do, along with that is, of course, you can use tongue twisters. You can use,
Hmm.
any kind of other. But the biggest thing is, biologically, we don't want to suck our lips in because that's going to really exacerbate that popping. kind of
Yes.
sound. Really, like
Yes.
when most of us formulate P's, we just bring our lips together and yeah, we don't let them because the minute
Hmm.
that happens, you're gonna get that rush of sound or air. Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. And so, and also a lot of this is us practicing, just like what you were saying with your hand,
Mm-hmm.
is us practicing. Um, Remember, consonants and what we do, consonants are. n- I like to focus more on vowels.
Hmm.
All right, instead of pushing. Well, this is let me say that, meaning that consonants we don't want to elongate or overdo them unless we have a specific purpose in like a story or something
Mm-hmm.
where there's like we're finishing a word, duh, that's supposed to be on purpose, right?
That was great.
Yeah. So, but generally, right, what we're trying to do is get off of that consonant. And it's important to say it, it's important to finish them.
Mm-hmm.
But you notice, like Gabby and I, or if you've been doing this for a while, you will begin to, or practice, or learn how to, and I think of it in a DB standpoint, begin to roll off, right? The consonants,
Yeah.
harsh sounds. If we're going like we're talking about the P, it's almost as if we're still saying them,
Mm-hmm.
but we've worked for many years on learning how to say it without it being so in your face and
Yeah.
so loud. It's still there, so you still need to, and that's why tongue twisters help a lot because we still need to finish our words. We still need to say the end of like the consonant at the end, but just like that, the consonant at the end. I can say those words and still the duh at the end, but we fade out. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
you
I
you
do.
you start to work on that
I
as a voice
always
actor.
say that T, D's, K's, and X's are your most important at the ends of words
Yeah.
because they have to be clear and you don't want them to, disappear. I cannot tell you the number of times I have edited voice actors where I have to go into the file and find, right, a missing D or a T or
Oh
an
my goodness,
X
yes.
or a K type sound and
Mhm.
copy and paste it to where I need it because otherwise the word sounds incomplete. And so, yes, it's something to kind of be aware of because you're right. Like, if I were to say the word incomplete inside of a sentence, right, it doesn't sound super awkward to kind of swallow the T at the end.
Yes.
But if I do it at the end of a sentence, it sounds really weird. It sounds
Mhm.
incomplete. So
Oh,
we sort of
absolutely.
learn. Yeah.
And part of this too is I love Professor Tracy was talking about Peter Piper picked a peck
Oh,
of pickled
God, that
peppers.
guy. Yeah.
I love that. I love that one specifically because uh a lot of this also is us learning, which is funny, but I think our entire lives we're at this point speaking to us, most of us, right, is very natural. It's second nature. It's so we don't necessarily. I don't know about you. When I first started, I feel like I had trouble matching up what was coming out of my mouth with what I thought it was gonna sound like in my head, right? And because and then
Yeah.
you naturally then mess up.
Hmm.
You pause. You're like, oh, I didn't say that right.
Yeah.
And I had done that experiment early on where if you put headphones on, noise canceling headphones, and you can't hear yourself talk, you will actually narrate. You can narrate for hours and you'll never make a mistake. It's a
Hmm.
very interesting. I didn't believe it until I did it.
Hmm.
It's wild. Now don't narrate like that,
Hmm.
because you can't hear what you're how you're saying things. But the point I'm trying to make is that all of this is learning more about how you actually feel you're saying something and how it actually is coming out, and you can hear that listening back and make those adjustments. So I like, and so for example, Peter, I love saying making it say the T. Now we as Americans are not usually going to hit that T because that's not a normal way of saying it for us, right? In this the accent that we have, right? However, I like to do that because it forces me to make a decision and for my words to match that decision I make. And
Mm.
so that I know if I need to. So like for example, if I start to say, well, it's important that I finish my words, I start to automatically, or like if you're like I have a problem with mouth clicks, all of a sudden your mouth starts watering more. Like your wherever
Mhm.
your
Mhm.
brain, whatever you say, right, it picks it up. So anyways, I do
Yeah.
love doing those and really hitting it. Peter Piper picked a peck, and I know because I'm not going to sit in front of it and record that, but I'm going to make sure that I understand what it is. What does it sound like when I'm actually doing it really hard, and how can I pull that back? Does that make sense?
It does. I always say it's going to the extremes,
Mm-hmm.
right? Go to the extreme of, right, very precise diction that is almost British in its pronunciation,
Right.
right?
Mm-hmm.
That becomes very staccato because we have to sort of do that to be able to pronounce it that way. And then go to the other end where you just don't pronounce anything and you sound like Sylvester Stallone. And
All
you'll
right.
find the middle.
Okay.
You'll
Mm-hmm.
find that happy middle by experiencing both
Yeah.
sides.
Yeah.
Something else that I learned firsthand was my theater background, and some of what I had done in musical theater early on did not serve me well
Mm,
in voiceover
mm.
because I was trying to be too proper. And I had to tone it
Yeah.
back.
Yeah.
And so sometimes I see that a lot. I see people who come from theater and we have to go like, ease up, ease up.
It was very challenging
Mhm.
starting early because again, the audience is right here. This
Mhm.
is their ear.
Mhm.
So that's quite different than, reaching the back of an entire auditorium with the person in the back row, which they have to,
For sure.
you're playing to the person in the back seat. That's what you're typically taught.
For
So you
sure.
have to project and, be very loud and clear, and you have to finish your words very strongly so that it's understood.
Back of the
But
room.
here, if you're doing that, it's like, whoa there, Tiger. Cool.
Stop yelling at me.
That's a little too much.
Yeah.
We had
We have questions and all
we
kinds of
we
things
do.
going on.
I think we
Let's
do.
do it.
Let's see. I think Sarah said, "I'm not sure if we'll have time for this today, but can we talk about pseudonyms, like using one for
Uh
erotica or pay to
what?
plays, etc.
Uh-huh.
Does it need to there we go. Does it need to be
Close to your
close
name and
to your
how do you
name?
get paid?
How do you get paid?"
We
Good
talked
question.
about this not that long ago.
Mm-hmm.
So Sarah, it's totally worth going back and looking at some of the older lives, but the quick version of this is yes, you can have an alias or a pseudonym. Does it need to be close to your no? It could be completely unrelated to your name. It could have nothing to do with your name. Some talent rosters actually demand that you use a pseudonym because they don't want their clients to be able to circumvent them and find you out on the web.
Mm-hmm.
And you get paid based on whatever your billing says and whatever your
Right. You
legal
have to use your real
entity is.
name for being
Yes,
paid.
for billing or your business name if you have a business.
So if you were if and just as a quick example, ACX. So if you're thinking about ACX, Sarah, or whatever like that is on ACX, you always only have one account,
Mm-hmm.
and that's your name, your real name. But at the end of every book and thing that you put up, ACX will pop up a little tab that says, "Do you want to use it? What name do you want to put
Mm,
down as the narrator?" They allow you to put a pseudonym in there, but you have to make sure if you do that, you still have to say this book was narrated by that pseudonym name. You don't
right.
say your name and then put a different one down, but they let you do it. So don't, I know it's confusing. Don't change your account. You don't need multiple accounts. It's all
Mhm.
one account because it's your name, your social, or your EIN number. That's, yeah.
Now, the challenge becomes, and this is the second part of your question, Sarah, if your pseudonym becomes extremely popular or extremely well known for a specific thing, then you may have to treat it as a separate entity and create
Mhm.
its own branding, marketing, website, and demos. And that does happen.
And
So,
I would
yeah.
say, especially we have I know I work with a lot of voice actors who are also, I don't say concerned, but they're definitely when it comes to erotica. So
Mm-hmm.
like you might like to do erotica, but you also might like to do children's books.
Yeah.
And they're
Yeah.
not necessarily you're not going to be on your website promoting both. No, so
Please
so
don't.
that you
Anyway.
why not? I guess, but that's the idea. The idea is that you might have to have different ones depending on how far down the rabbit hole you go.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's see. Can you still send your demos or
Yeah.
samples with a pseudonym, or what do you do?
Yeah.
Can't send your
That's
website. Can
basically
you?
what we just answered.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Good, good, good.
Okay, guys.
Um,
Well, I mean, I think that about does it. I don't see any other questions. It's funny
hmm,
because somebody at the very beginning said, "Can I ask a question?" and then
I know
didn't.
what happened to DJ. Maybe
I don't
DJ didn't
know. I don't
was
know. Formulate it for tomorrow then, sir.
That was exactly. And remember, we have topics, but we always love for you guys to bring questions. And speaking of just an interesting topic, this is a very we had spoke about it last week, and we kind of done a soft launch, but we are under full way of for VO Journey Academy. We
Mhm.
have opened up tiers to join VO Journey Academy, which is the first time we've ever done that. So it's very exciting. We have three different tiers for you to check out. We have our Launchpad tier, we have our core tier, and we have our
Mhm.
premium tier.
Mhm.
And this just gives you different, different ways to join our family of VO Journey to learn, depending on your schedule, what you have available. It's very exciting, and we are really we're growing and
Mhm.
building a really nice community. I mean, we have an amazing community, but it's even growing.
Mm.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
he said
I love
he
it.
he said he did ask
Uh,
his question. I'm super confused.
I did ask my question. I'm so sorry. Did
Uh,
you? Well, I think we missed it. It said it's just
I
we
don't
just
see
hello. I
it.
have a question. Maybe accidentally DJ it didn't go through. Could you re-ask it real
Yeah,
quick or just type it
no,
back in?
I'm not seeing it.
Uh,
Preview for tomorrow. We will be speaking about something that is really bothersome to a lot of people. We'll be talking about sibilance.
super.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
I always sound like I don't know. Let's see. Robert has a question. He says, "I'm 82. Am I too old to start a VO business?"
What's too old, Robert? What does that
No,
even mean?
never.
I I I always find, and I respect the question. I don't know about you, Anthony. I'm like, as long as you can prop my ass up in that booth, I'll keep working.
I mean, I did
Why
this for
not?
this yeah. I
Yeah,
mean, I plan on doing this until
yeah. Till the
the
wheels
day
fall off,
comes I can't.
literally.
That's right. Great question. My nemesis sibilance.
Yeah.
Oh, Sarah, she
Oh,
might have guessed
Sarah,
it.
you should join us tomorrow.
Rightio. All right, you guys, thank you so much. We loved having you as always. Have a wonderful rest of your day. We will see you tomorrow. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye.
Goodbye. 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 Goodbye.